Shark Game here, coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com off of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And someone sent me over this article about a woman stabbing her boyfriend because he didn't want to do a threesome with her. And she stabbed him with some scissors. And the reason why this article got my attention is because there's a certain mentality that a lot of white women have in America that I never really heard anybody talk about. And I mean, of course, people talk about it behind the scenes amongst the people that I know and that they probably know. But I don't hear anybody talk about it online. And you're never going to hear about it in the mainstream media. But there's a certain mentality that exists amongst a lot of white women when it comes to rejection. And this chick, she flipped the fuck out, basically, on her boyfriend. And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to explain possibly why she flipped the fuck out after I'm done reading this. So, it says, a man has accused his girlfriend of stabbing him with a pair of scissors after he turned her offer down to have a threesome with another woman she had recently met at a local dog park. The girlfriend, Teresa Gillard, 42, was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and disorderly conduct as a result. That's all she got charged with? Wow. According to the police report, Gillard wanted to have a threesome with her boyfriend and the other woman and became violent when her boyfriend didn't appear too keen on the idea. The two got into an argument during which Gillard allegedly stabbed him with the scissors. In her defense, she claims her boyfriend assaulted her by swinging her around the room and threatening her with a gun. Sounds like self-defense to me. The couple was involved in an on and off relationship, but Gillard had recently moved to the victim's Arizona home from San Diego early last year and was still living in the house at the same time of the accident. According to Gillard, she had a few drinks the night of the attack and wanted the woman from the dog park to come over to the house to have a threesome. While she and her boyfriend had considered taking part in such an act, the boyfriend did not want to have a threesome because he wasn't feeling well. Gillard admitted to the police that she did stab him in the arm, but not in the abdomen. However, the man suffered minor injuries to both places. Afterwards, he kicked her out the house and told her to go back to San Diego. She is currently being held she's in jail, and her boyfriend was not arrested on any charges. Well, now, sounds like he was defending himself, and apparently he didn't want to do the threesome with her for whatever reason. And what you have to understand, I've met a lot of white people in my life. I've been around them. I've worked with them. I've socialized with them, but I've never dated a white woman. I'm gonna make that clear. You know, I've had a lot of discussions. I spent a lot of time around them, worked with them. But there's one thing that that's been quite consistent over the years when it comes to a lot of white women. They don't take rejection that well. A lot of white women don't take rejection that well. And what happens, especially especially if you're a non-white person, because a lot of white women have the mentality that, how dare you reject me, or you're gonna reject all of this? How dare you reject me and tell me no? Who do you think you are? That's their mentality, right? Especially if you're a non-white person, a man to be exact. If you're a black man, or maybe a Latino, see, they have the mentality that, you should be you should be happy that you're in my presence. You should not be turning me down, because see, a lot of white women, they're not stupid. They know they have a leg up in American society over the rest of the women politically, right? They know that. And they know on a physical level, just looks in itself, most white women know that they can't really compete with the rest of the women on just looks. Now, just being attractive, most white women know if they weren't Caucasian, they would not be able to compete. If it was a fair game, they would not be able to compete. So they know they have what some people call white privilege. So this is where that mentality comes from. See, they think a lot of white women, in my opinion, are some of the most arrogant motherfuckers on planet Earth. That's been my experience. Maybe you had a different experience. But some of the white women I know today are some of the most arrogant women on planet Earth. But they know they have a leg up in society due to the laws and the public policies and everything that's happened throughout history, right? So this is where that mentality comes from. But this lady, she took it a step further. She started stabbing the boyfriend and all that shit or whatever. As a matter of fact, there's a comedian that was talking about, he was on social media, and this white woman was sending him messages. I think the guy's on Saturday Night Live. He's a comedian, but there's a woman that kept sending him messages on social media for the past couple months, and she's trying to make a mockery out of him. She's trying to make a fool out of him, and she got upset at him because he didn't want to date her. He didn't want to go up, take her on a date. And her attitudes was the same as this lady. She was like, how dare you turn me down? That's the psyche of a lot of white women, because they know they have a leg up in society over the rest of the women from a political standpoint. So whenever they get rejected, especially if they get rejected by a non-white man, some of them, they don't know how to take that shit. Some of them they lose their goddamn mind. It's just like this lady. So that's where I think a lot of this anger stems from with this lady. And, I don't know, maybe she might be on some type of narcotic too, who knows. But I know this mentality exists with a lot of white women based on my experience. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, especially if you're the type of guy that feels good about yourself, you're a confident guy, you feel good about yourself, and if that's the case, and if you have a purpose in life, or if you're working on some shit, and if you're on the top of your game, trust me, the white women are going to find you. That's in any area of activity. They're going to find you. And, it's up to you if you accept the offer or not. But if you don't accept the offer, don't be surprised if you get a response from her that that's unwanted. That's all I'm saying. So you tell me what you think. If you have any questions, leave your comments in the question below. So if you like what you heard, subscribe to my channel. Check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. And oh yes, P.S. and by the way, you can check me out on Instagram. And my Instagram handle is sharpgame1. And you can check me out on Facebook, and those links are below. But check me out. Follow me on Instagram. It's sharpgame1. That's my handle. So until next time, I'm out.